to Storytime with Miss Sarah. It's a great time to be creative, and you might be wondering why I'm sitting with an egg with a paintbrush. Well, it has to do with one of my favorite stories, Eggbert the Slightly Cracked Egg by Tom Ross. There once was an egg named Eggbert. He loved to paint beautiful pictures. Egbert's paintings always cheered up the other eggs in the refrigerator. But one day, it was discovered that Eggbert was slightly cracked. Eggs with cracked shells were not allowed to stay. Sadly, the other eggs told Eggbert he would have to leave. Eggbert waved goodbye to his old friends. He hunched his shoulders, what little shoulders he had, and pressed his shell together so that the crack almost disappeared. Almost. Then he set out to look for a new place to live. All the drawers had labels, but none of them was right for Eggbert. He knew he would have to look harder. There had to be some place where he would fit in. Before long, Eggbert came to a spot with a beautiful view. If only I could stay here, he thought. Then he had a great idea. No one had to know that he was an egg with a cracked shell. He would paint himself to look like the other things around him. He'd blend right in. But just as Eggbert was thinking he'd found the perfect place, a potato plant happened to notice his crack. "Split!" the plant ordered. Eggbert tried not to be discouraged. "Maybe I'll have better luck outdoors," he said to himself. The only way down was to jump. Luckily, Eggbert landed in a soft bed of flowers. He had never seen flowers before, but they smelled even better than butter and lettuce. Perhaps this is the perfect place for me, he thought. A dab here, a splotch there. Voila! Eggbert was covered with flowers. But late that afternoon, an angry bee discovered that you cannot get nectar from an egg. Again, Eggbert was told to leave. It was getting dark, and he still had not found a place to live. Just when he was about to give up all hope, a glimmer of something caught his eye. "What beautiful little lights," Eggbert whispered. With all his might, and twice his usual care, he climbed up the fence. "Perfect," Eggbert said when he was covered with stars. But the next morning, when the night stars were gone, a cat discovered that Eggbert was just an egg with a cracked shell. "Scramble," said the cat. Eggbert took a hard fall on the sidewalk. Now he was more cracked than ever. As it started to rain, he began to sob. He realized that no matter how he painted himself, he could not hide who he was. Finally, the rain stopped, and the sun broke through a crack in the clouds. Eggbert began to notice something he had never noticed in his whole life. The world was full of cracks, all sorts of wonderful cracks. Maybe it's not such a bad thing to be slightly cracked, he thought. From then on, Eggbert traveled around the world, making new friends and seeing famous cracked sights. But he never forgot his friends back home in the fridge, and he painted them beautiful postcards of his travels. They were well and truly amazed, and they missed him, if the truth be told. To this day, Eggbert does not regret being cracked. In fact, he is even a little proud of it. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.